Hello everyone, welcome to my Dinar Daily YouTube channel. The central bank did well recently and left the auction platform and returned to respect its currency, which is the dinar. The most important step is to zero out the dinar and buy the 1,250 old dinars for 1 dinar of the new currency during the exchange after printing the 1 dinar denomination, and the value of 1 dinar will be $1. Making the value of 1 dinar equal to $1 will keep the citizen, merchant, traveler, doctor, etc. away from running after the dollar. These new versions of the 3-0 notes should not worry you. I will emphasize once again, the CBI has told us many times in the past that these 3-0 notes are not going away for some time even after the project to delete the 3 zeros is completed. Iraq will eventually be using dinar widely to pay for imports. Where are they going to get all this cash to pay for very large sums, costs of imported goods? As time passes, much of these transactions will be electronic, but not yet. The banks would still need the larger 3-0 notes. Amendment of Article 12 has nothing to do with the rate change. Article 12 is for the Kurds to get their money to cover their cost of extracting and transportation of salaries for the oil. Next they say we will have the budget tables. That means the budget now is going to be red line, item by line item by line item, and the only way to fund those line items. The funding will have to be based on a different exchange rate because you cannot fund this budget at a program rate. Everybody waits for the new exchange rate. Everything waits for it. We are very, very close. Next, the CBI has specifically told us many times these larger notes will still exist and will be used behind the scenes for interbanking transactions. Of course, they will be taken out of the mainstream circulation, but will still remain as legal tender. My CBI contact also told me the CBI was forced politically to print these notes because of the demand to satisfy the visually impaired. The fact that these notes will still remain legal tender, even after the project to delete the zeros, should make you feel good. No, the CBI is not going to screw us investors. Al-Sudani, in a telegram to new US President, "We are committed to strategic relations under the umbrella of respect for sovereignty and non-interference. Iraq aspires to strengthen the bonds of cooperation and partnership with the United States, within the framework of the strategic agreement and the common interests of the two countries, stressing the importance of working to support the foundations of stability, security and development regionally and internationally." We did get one update from a bond conference call last night that yes, they were told in that call that new US President was the magic and things are now moving forward. That now makes 2 check-ins, saying now that Trump is in office, the decision was made and they are now moving forward. They were told they are putting money in accounts to be funded on Thursday. Do we still have to wait for 30% of the bonds to go before we get to go? I don't think we have to wait for 30% to go. I think now when they pull the trigger, it will all go at one time at this point. Before RV, the number one thing that's going to resolve Baghdad and Kurdistan issue is going to be the oil and gas law. This is why they seem to have this never-ending matter of differences. They need the oil and gas law completed. That's what resolves all these matters. We should have had action on this today. They are waiting to squeeze in one last number. Then we should budget tables and rates. When they adjust budget tables, it's an ideal time to adjust value. There is some pretty exciting stuff coming for Iraq this morning. We've always said, don't run to the bank. I said, walk, take your time. You want to take your time because you want to see any changes. You want to see any mistakes that have been done that are being corrected by the bank or the CBI, whatever it may be. Take your time in doing this. Once the exchange starts, it's not going to stop overnight. You're going to have plenty of time. The Kuwaiti dinar currently is the strongest currency in the world, 31 Kuwaiti dinars for every US dollar. If you do the math, it turns out to be about $3.22. It's worth noting, Kuwait has about 7% of the world's oil reserves, which greatly supports the value of the currency. According to 2023 data, Iraq has significantly more oil reserves than Kuwait, with Iraq holding approximately 145 billion barrels of oil compared to Kuwait's 101.5 billion. Iraq has 43% more oil than Kuwait. Kuwait's currency is strongest in the world. Iraq has the ability to be at least 43% more valuable based off oil, let alone their known oil revenues. Pretty exciting times. We're most concerned with the dinar at the contract rate, which our contract rate on the dinar is tied to North Sea Brent crude oil, and if it's 80, well, that's what the contract rate is, and that's the North Sea Brent crude price a few days ago. It fluctuates a little up, a little down, but it's trending up, it's trending higher. So that's a good thing to be aware of. We know that conditions to get back to Forex, that this insurance part is a pillar of the financial reform. Therefore, it is a reform that needed to take place and is now taking place. Also, I want to add that the statement of changing the Iraqi dinar to any global currency immediately is an amazing statement. Could this news get any better at this time? These new versions of the 3-0 notes should not worry you if you are an informed follower of my blog and this RV saga. Why do I say this? I say this because I know that many of you will be in panic mode when you read this article. Instead, you should be relaxed and not worry about it. So, for all you newbies out there, I will emphasize once again, the CBI has told us many times in the past that these 3-0 notes are not going away for some time, even after the project to delete the 3 zeros is completed. Remember that Iraq will eventually be using dinar widely to pay for imports. Where are they going to get all this cash to pay for very large sums, costs of imported goods? How are they going to do this if there were only the newer, lower denominations? They would need wheelbarrows of them, even if the rate changes to what we believe it will change to. As time passes, much of these transactions will be electronic, but not yet. The banks would still need the larger 3-0 notes. Next, the CBI has specifically told us many times, these larger notes will still exist and will be used behind the scenes for interbanking transactions. Of course, they will be taken out of the mainstream circulation, but will still remain as legal tender. My CBI contact also told me the CBI was forced politically to print these notes because of the demand to satisfy the visually impaired. Again, they serve the few and will spend millions in doing so, but complain about spending money to print the newer, lower denominations. So, now this issue of this article, that everyone is so recently worried about, is actually the premise to which we as investors will be allowed to exchange our 3-0 notes at the bank. You should feel confident after hearing this today from me, and that in fact the CBI must also collect these larger dinars from us long-term investors. The fact that these notes will still remain legal tender even after the project to delete the zeros should make you feel good. Iraq tells us it looks forward to strengthening cooperation with America under Trump. On Wednesday, Foreign Minister Fuad Hussein informed the United States of Iraq's aspiration to enhance bilateral cooperation under the upcoming U.S. administration headed by Donald Trump. My CBI contact has told me this. Relationships should be good, and not all based on sanctions.